Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card, we are taking a look at what your shadow self has to say to you. So whatever guidance your shadow self has, that's what we're going to be taking a look at, kind of like an energy reading. So I have 3 objects for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the butterfly. Let me get that to focus. There you go. Pile number 1 is the butterfly. Pile number 2 is the poppy. And pile number 3 is the red jasper. So see which object you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamps. Hey Pile1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance and messages your shadow self has for you right now. You guys chose the butterfly. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to the oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. Guidance and messages from pile number 1, shadow. Oh goodness, we've got a card that's flipped over. Knight of Swords. Okay. We've got these 2 that flipped over as well. I'm going to use them. We have the 7 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, guidance from pile number 1, shadow self. What messages and guidance? The High Priestess. Okay. One more card, please, spirit guides. One more card. 8 of Swords. Okay. And 8 of Wands at the back of the deck. All right, Knight of Swords, 7 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the 8 of Swords. Okay. Okay, this one's quite interesting. So there's okay, as I was tapping in, I was being shown the colour yellow. We'll start with that. I was being shown the colour yellow, so it's a solar plexus energy. There was a connection, and it almost felt like there was a lot going on in your energy in terms of your solar plexus, meaning that you guys right now could be clearing, but I'm hearing the word making room for a kind of like activation in the area of like self-worth. I'm hearing the word self-importance as I say it, and there's this feeling here when I'm coming into the reading of like, I'm looking at the Knight of Swords starting the reading, and you know, the Knight of Swords, he kind of cuts through the fog. He has an idea, right? But it's still the beginning card. And there's this feeling here of like, you being on the money, you having the right idea, you picking up on things very strongly, you being in a position where I feel like you're coming through as somebody that could guide other people, help other people, whether that's in, you know, spirituality, that could be like, you know, psychic readings and stuff like that. That could also be just pertaining to something that you're working on right now, a craft that you're working on, because there's something here about you knowing, or you guys having very sharp minds, or you guys very much, I want to say the word that kind of like knowing your path, knowing what to do, having the guidance to know what to do, but then there's this hesitancy, and then there's this kind of confusion and fog. It's almost like I'm getting in my head and it's causing this confusion and fog, and then it leads me to not know where to go next. It leads me to not know the next path. It has me then kind of questioning myself when the answer and what I knew to do was already there. Like, let's say you guys have like a fog over your life and you're kind of stuck right now and you're not knowing what to do next, but I'm being told you have the intuitive nudge, you know what the next step is, you're being called somewhere, but then it's almost like, I don't feel like maybe I have the right to take a step here. I don't know if I should really be seen in that light, or be speaking up about this, or going into a field like this and going for that position in my job, or working for myself, or being able to guide people with things that I've been learning for a really long time. There's almost this feeling like I don't want to kind of step onto the throne. There's this feeling of not wanting to fully maybe come out of the shadows and be seen, or really take a leap. But then Spirit's saying like, you kind of know the way and you know what to do, but there's kind of like doubts that kind of come in. I keep being shown somebody talking themselves out of something. I keep being shown somebody getting like, I'm being shown like squiggles above the head, like I don't know what to do next. I'm creating a fog, but it's because I'm overthinking it, because the first intuitive message that I'm getting to do something. It's almost like I'm telling myself, oh, no, I couldn't do that. Or it could even be maybe even from a psychic and spiritual perspective. You guys could be connecting with spirit. You could be clairaudiently connecting with spirit, clairvoyantly. You could be channeling, literally. And it's like, you may be telling yourself, oh, well, that wasn't even true. Like, I just probably made that up. Or like, oh, you know, that was just like, yeah, I did guess that correctly. Or yes, I did kind of predict that, but like anyone could have. It's like you're almost talking yourself down, anyone could have done that. And it like, it's honestly, anyone could have done that. Like that's just like, that doesn't make me special in any kind of way. Like that, you know what I mean? And it's like, yes, we all have gifts in different ways. And yes, we all have our expertise in different ways. But I just feel like there's this feeling of when spirit and your shadow self are almost calling you to kind of like claim something as yours, honor something as yours. But it's almost like I'm kind of, it's a mental process of kind of like entrapping myself, but I'm kind of creating a fog. But maybe I'm creating a fog due to words that I've been told in the past and things that I've been told in the past. Maybe I'm worried about conflict. Maybe I'm worried about truly being seen because of people might target me. Maybe I worry about being wrong. Maybe I worry about the process. What if it doesn't turn out right? But there's this message to truly sit and listen to the intuitive messages that you're getting and the guidance that you're getting, because there's this reference of like, you're on the money. I want to big you guys up more. I want to speak a life into you guys, because I feel like you guys have really interesting ideas. There's maybe certain pathways you wanted to take, whether that's career or just in your life. Maybe you're wanting to move somewhere. Maybe you're wanting to do something. Maybe you're wanting to start a business up or start something up. And I see you kind of like intuitively knowing where to go, but then the mind's coming in and it's kind of creating a fog. I feel like I can't really walk forward. I feel like I have the idea and it can cut through the fog, but then it's almost like I'm talking myself out. But whatever it is, if it's something that you're wanting to do or build, or this is just like the energy that I'm picking up, maybe you're connecting with spirit and stuff like that, and being told you're on the money, and being told you know what to do. I'm actually being told this pile has really, really strong intuition. But there's almost like, you have your intuition, but then you have like gut instinct, right? And I feel like, I wonder if you guys have been like clearing out in that area, like clearing the gut, listening to your gut more. It could be that you guys are like choosing different foods that help you connect to your gut, but it also could be, because I'm just being shown a sensitivity there and a clearing. So that's something that I feel like is happening for you guys right now. That's why I was being taken to the soul plexus. But I feel like from an energetic perspective, if that isn't physically happening, you guys are just learning to really trust your gut instinct and trust that initial, I know what to do, I know where to head next. Like, because I just feel like you're super intuitive. You already know what to do there. And I just feel like you guys do naturally have very strong gut instincts and know what to do to step towards something, know what to do to, like, I don't know why I keep being shown like somebody, let's just say in class, and they know the answer, but they're not putting their hand up for the answer, because it's like, what if I'm wrong? What if other people laugh at me? What if I pronounce a word wrong? What if I don't enunciate it properly? You know, and it's kind of like this feeling of like, I'm better off just kind of like staying to the wall, or just kind of keeping my head down, even though I know the answer, or even though I know I could maybe add value to this discussion that's going on in the classroom. And this could be even in situations like, you know, you could, because I'm being told you guys are maybe quite funny. You guys have very like glittery personalities. Like, you guys are very witty, I'm being told, and just, I'm picking up like very, maybe like for some of you, animated, or you have like really good stories to tell and things like that. But then there's almost this feeling of like, when I'm around people, I'm almost like, I know what to say, or I have a joke to say, or there's a comment that I want to make, and like, it's like I want to go do it, but then I'm like not doing it, because the first thing I'm thinking of is like other people's thoughts and what they're gonna say. What if I say it wrong? What if this offends somebody? And like, spirit's calling you, like, I'm seeing like a go sign, like a green go sign, and it's like, go do it, say what you need to say, be that person, like take that leap, start that business, put your hand up in class. Like, there's that vibe that's coming through here. You're being called to really step into what it is. I feel like you already are. It's like the energy's there, but when we think of the solar plexus, it's one of the lower chakras, so it's more in the physical body. So you're being called to almost like show up and be present and bring all of that energy that's already there anyway into the physical. And I'm hearing somebody like sing, somebody being shown a bird like chirping, singing. You're being called to sing, you're being called to talk, you're being called to be funny, do little things. Like, there's something here, like I want to see, like I'm trying to put you on the stage and I wanted you to come out like that. I want to see you wear that thing that you want to wear and wear, you know, wear that item you want to wear. And it's like almost like showcasing parts of you. Because I'm hearing shine. I'm sure it's the group Take That. They have a song. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like Let It Shine or something like that, and I just heard that clairaudiently, so that's coming through as well. It's almost like I want to see things. I want you to showcase yourself. Your shadow self is helping you clear things out so that you can showcase yourself, so that you can physically be here, physically show up. I want to get you kind of like out there. I want to get you out of the shadows. I want you to take that leap. I want you to start that business. I don't know why I'm being shown phones. I know somebody's got like a phone case business or something like that. But yeah, there's something like that, like craft and creativity and everything related to the solar plexus there. Like your shadow self is encouraging you to bring that through. And with that being said, with there being a clearing in your solar plexus area, I wonder if maybe some of you guys have had over the last couple of weeks and months, or maybe it's happening right now, kind of like old repressed memories of when you haven't maybe felt so confident, or when other people have maybe put you down, experiences where you felt less than. But there's this feeling like I need to tell somebody off, or I need to kind of like voice my frustration, voice my feeling. That actually angered me, that actually upset me. Don't appreciate that. I'm not taking on that projection you put on me. Like there's that sort of vibe. So I wonder if there's been memories coming up, or little scenarios coming up to help you almost process it. So I wouldn't worry if that has been happening. I know it can be really heavy, because when we do those clearings and we do, you know, transmute and we heal, that piece of us that experienced that shaming, that hurt, you know, that projection that was placed on us, that version of us is still there, and we kind of go back to that time period and that memory to sit and process it like it's happening right now. So our body will process those feelings and emotions as if they're happening right now, because technically they're being released from your body. So I just wonder if that's coming up, because I am hearing shame as well. I wonder if like at times in your life you've stepped into that leadership role, or you've been a bit louder and people have shamed you for it, but I feel like you're learning to do that unapologetically. Maybe you've had big dreams, maybe you've wanted to kind of expand your horizons, and people have kind of shamed you for it, or like, don't take that path, because there's this feeling of worry, there's this feeling of cautioning myself. Even now, maybe like nobody's around me cautioning me, but I'm still cautioning myself because of what other people might think or what they may say. But you're being called into that leadership energy, but I feel like your shadow self is working with you through it. There's already, when I tapped in, an activation and a clearing going on in that area in your life. I wonder if some of you guys have like had a sensitive stomach. Like there's certain foods that you're maybe becoming aware of. It's like, oh, that really doesn't work for me. Oh, that doesn't work for me. And eating a little bit cleaner, you know what I mean? Or maybe doing a detox or something like that. Or maybe you've been urged to eat certain foods and maybe listening to your body. Maybe your body's bringing that through. Because some of you guys may have that gift where you have that, because you're intuitive anyway, I could feel that. So you could have that gift of like intuitive eating. So your body's like, I need eggs, you know what I mean? I need apples, I need pumpkin, like you know what I mean? And there's maybe like certain foods that you're, you know, being drawn to or intuitively drawn to, your body's craving, you know, to eat, and they're gonna help you, they're gonna help balance certain things in your body. So maybe listen to that. Of course, if your body's telling you to eat things that aren't the best, like Red Bulls and Cheetos, maybe, you know, bring in a bit of logic there. But yeah, there's a feeling of that. So for some of you guys, that could be activating, because I do feel like you're naturally super intuitive, but I feel like your solar plexus is a very activated usually. I feel like that's kind of like your powerhouse. I feel like that's the area of your life that I feel is kind of like the driver in your life. I hope that makes sense. That's the area in your life where I feel like a lot of your gold is, you know what I mean? And I feel like maybe that's where you've been targeted, is your self-confidence, is truly trusting your gut, is truly trusting that. And maybe you've had to kind of like listen more just to your intuition, and maybe like not the kind of the gut area, but I just feel like that's something that's coming in, because I feel like there's something with the body. Like I wonder if you guys are gonna have gifts activate within your body, in terms of like I'm hearing like, you know, plant medicine and things like that, eating, like intuitive eating and all of that, that there's something that may be activated. You may find that you feel clairsentiently, or you feel messages from spirit a lot stronger in your body. Maybe you have different reactions in your body to certain gifts that come through. Your body starts showing you signs of things. Maybe you become more connected to the landscape around you and, aware, like, oh, a storm's coming, I've got a migraine. That sort of thing could start getting activated as well, because a whole clearing and activation, when we do that, we are kind of removing anything that is blocking aspects of our personality, but also our gifts, our spiritual gifts. So that could be something that gets kind of activated for you at this time. And I want, the whole point of this is I want to be seen, kind of like the butterfly. I feel like you're spreading your wings. That's the whole point. And I feel whatever's blocking you right now, you're being called into your body to listen to the kind of like your gut feeling of where to go, or take that leap, try this out, take that jump. Your mind may be like blocking things for you right now in terms of don't do this, don't do that. And there's a difference between logic and then just overthinking and talking ourselves out of something. And again, this is another message spirit saying you already know this. You know the difference between overthinking and logic, and there's something about trust in your instincts, trust in your intuition. You were right the first time. That's the message coming through. Trust that first initial. It's almost like, I don't know if you've seen like on TikTok and stuff, sometimes people do like pick a marble or pick a ball, and then they have like 5 different colors, and then they all go rolling down their kind of like track that they've made, and you kind of have to pick like which one's right. And there's this kind of feeling of like, you were right the first time, it was the orange one, why did you have to switch? Because it's almost like you're intuitively getting it's the orange one that's going to win, but then at the minute you pick the orange one, you're like, wait, no, what about the red, or what about the yellow? But it was the first one. You're right the first time. It's almost like I'm talking myself out of things. I'm already kind of pushing all of the kind of negative, onto it. But I feel like it's almost like your brain repeating something that it's been told. I just feel like this is things that you've experienced in the past. Maybe you've been more of a social butterfly. Maybe you've been more confident and speaking things out, and people have targeted that, and this is what's being cleared for you. You're really clearing the clutter there. And then we have the 8 of Wands at the back of the deck. There's a lot shaking up and shifting in your energy, and I just feel like going into the next year, things are going to start speeding up a little bit more, but it's going to be at your kind of call, because it's when you feel ready to just kind of come out of the shadows. It's when you feel ready to kind of step into the spotlight, and by that could be almost honoring certain gifts and kind of flowing with them. This could be you starting something new and not worrying about what other people are thinking. This could be you going into a career field where you are it could be that you're applying for a higher position, or it could be that you guys are going into a career field where you are guiding other people and being in a position like that and helping other people. But this could also be just in general, just in your life, speaking up, saying what you want to say, allowing that to come out. It's going to be a process, but I feel like as you start to activate it, life just feels like it's going to start accelerating, because I do feel like there are shifts afoot with you guys. I can see it in your energy. Like there's I always like to describe it like the tectonic plates under the earth and everything moving. I'm seeing that coming. So that's something that I'm picking up on, and I think that's why you're being called to activate this energy, because you're going to be maybe seen a bit more, or you're going to be around other people, and you're going to be learning to exercise that around other people. You know what I mean? Or maybe you're making a whole shift career-wise, and that's why it's coming in. There's a method to it. It's happening for a reason, and it's being activated now for a reason. But any of these feelings that come through, I feel like you already know what to do. Every time I go to like instruct, it's almost like they kind of know. Like I feel like these feelings are coming up, sit with them, process them. Write somebody a letter, and if you want to be mean and angry in it, let yourself be mean and angry in it. Don't push down those feelings. Sit there, write the letter and burn it. You know what I mean? Obviously don't go sending mean letters to people and all of that, but just sit, write those feelings down on a piece of paper and burn it. You know what I mean? Talk out loud. That can really help as well, empowering yourself, speaking out loud. And even if it's somebody that you haven't seen since you were in school, and it was like year 8 or however you call it in other parts of the world, you're 9, you're 10, whatever, and it was a kid in school, you know what I mean? And to you, you might be like 45 now, and it's like, it's no relevance to me, but that's still kind of her. Allow your 14-year-old self, your 16-year-old self, your 25-year-old self, your 11-year-old self, allow them to say what they need to say. This is something that was repressed that needs to come out. Allow that voice to be heard, and those parts of you to be heard. Let them have a voice. Let them feel the feelings that they, you know, weren't able to, or maybe it wasn't safe to. Allow that to come out, because that's what's happening. There's this flush happening, and it's coming up for a reason, but it's happening to be cleared. And I feel it's interesting, because sometimes I feel like with healing, we see something be cleared, and then there's a void phase, and then there's an activation of something new. With you, it's all happening simultaneously. You're getting a lot of activations at the same time you're clearing things. It's all happening kind of once in your energy. And I'm hearing express yourself. So anything that you're really wanting to showcase, let it out. We have potions and spells. A pinch of this, a dash of that. Be sure you're sure before you call. Okay, one more card. We'll do, how many shall I do? I'll do 2. One more card, please, from this deck. One more card, please, from this deck. We have the Third Harvest. Daughter of the woods, feel thy scad swell with suppleness. Taste the gathering of honey's milk, fill in your emptiness. Okay. Third Harvest. A pinch of this, a dash of that. Be sure you're sure before you call. See, this is about being sure of yourself. This is about building up your level of confidence. This is about listening to your needs and creating a world that tailors to you and allows you to fully feel safe in expressing who you are. Fully feel safe in taking those jumps, taking those leaps, using different kind of like avenues to build yourself up, whether that's affirmations, telling yourself affirmations every day. You know, I listen to motivational speeches. I know there's a lot of really good ones on YouTube. Listening to music that activates you and helps you kind of like talk your ish. Like there's something here where I kind of want to have something with me that can help me kind of like fuel that part of me, you know, fuel that part of me that needs to speak out their truth or make those leaps or just trust in that first instinct, something that assures me. I feel like for some time, maybe you've had people that haven't assured you. Maybe they've pushed you down. Maybe they've had you belittle yourself. Maybe they've belittled plans that you've had. Maybe they've talked down to you. And what we're doing is we're removing that. We're processing these feelings and allowing them to come out. So that cup is being poured out, but we want to pour back into that cup. So it's like doing little things that make you, because, you know, we've got potions and spells, you know, little kind of charms and things that fill up that cup for you and kind of create that new wiring in your brain. My opinion is important. I am allowed to say what I feel. I am allowed to, you know, I trust this feeling. This is the gut feeling that I'm getting, and I want to take that job. I want to, you know, fly here. I want to wear those shoes. Like, I know myself. I don't need anyone bulldozing over that. And it's like activating that raw inside you. And I anything from music to motivational speeches to movies that empowering you and thinking. I remember when I used to go for like job interviews when I was like a lot younger, and I would like in my head I'd be like, right, okay, I'm Beyonce, and like no one's gonna turn down Beyonce. You know what I mean? And I'd kind of create like an alter ego, and like, you know, I'm Rihanna, you know, and anything like that, like a version of you that, you know, kind of cultivating that version of you that is out there and is being seen in the spotlight, and doing that, I just feel like that would really help you, because that's going to help you really activate it. And then with the Third Harvest, I just feel like, truthfully, like I said, I saw a lot of shifts coming in. So I just wonder if this next phase of your life, because I feel like there's a crowd. I don't know if this is clients. I don't know if this is new friends. I don't know if this is partners, like maybe you're on the dating scene. If you're starting a business and it's online, maybe it's viewers. You know what I mean? I'm seeing energies around. I feel like I'm kind of like, I'm being shown an image of like I'm in a party sort of thing and there's people around, but I'm being shown that more so as an image. I just feel like there may be new people coming into your life in the next year. Or you're somewhere where you're being seen. You know what I mean? There's like buzz around that. Or it could be that people are just finally like seeing you and hearing what you've got to say, seeing your expertise, seeing your crafts. It could be that, but there's this mental block that is going to be clearing for you. Yeah, so that is what I have for you, Pala, and I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. The next video that you'll see is the trick or treat video, so I'll see you at that one on Friday. And yeah, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Hey Pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance and messages your shadow selves have for you right now. So you guys chose the poppy. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s. I don't know why I keep being shown like an ocean. Like I'm deep in the ocean as I tap in. Pile, could be my water pile. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Guidance for my pile number 2's shadow selves, please. Page of Pentacles. Guidance from pile number 2's shadow selves. 6 of Wands, the Hermit. Guidance from pile number 2, shadow selves, please, spirit guides. Chariot. One more card, please. One more card. Guidance from pile number 2's. Okay. Back of the deck is the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, Page of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, the Hermit, the Chariot, and the Magician. Okay, this one's quite interesting because I'm seeing the Page of Pentacles and I almost feel like something's already come in, like something's already been activated, but I'm almost like not seeing it. Like I'm seeing this Page of Pentacles being something that you've been working towards for some time. So this could be like, maybe you guys have been doing inner work for some time. You guys have been transmuting a lot, clearing a lot, processing a lot. Maybe you guys have been manifesting something from like a while ago and it's here. There's something about something's here. You've done, like I almost want to cheer and clap, like you've done something. But like it's almost like when I tap into your energy, you'd be like, what have I done? And I'm like, well, you wanted this and now you've got it. There's something here about that. What is that? What is that, please, spirit guides? I keep wanting to be like, you made it. You kind of like got to the other side. Like you've been in a transition for a while and you're here. Your feet are firmly on the ground. It could be like you normally, let's just say, watch you pick a card, and I could have been saying to you, hey, you know, you're going through a transition right now and you're midpoint and you're going over the river, you know what I mean? And you're kind of like halfway there and you're not firmly there yet. But there's this feeling here of like you're here, your feet are on the ground. But then there's this feeling of like I'm still digging. I'm kind of like my brain doesn't think that I'm here, like that I've arrived somewhere, I'm at my next destination. Because there's this feeling of like, okay, take the walk now. Like it's almost like I've been packing for so long. I've been putting things together. I've been, you know, like when you're going on a trip somewhere, right? And you've got like a suitcase and you're like, have I got the passport? Have I got this? Have I got that? And it's like, you've been in that mode for so long. I'm hearing trimming the fat. So I guess you've been maybe doing shadow work, inner work, clearing out the clutter and trying to get to a certain like place, and it's almost like you're here, you've arrived, you've been in that cave for a second, you're coming out of the cave. But I keep feeling like I'm on the floor. I've got this diamond that I was digging for, but it's almost like I've just popped the diamond to the side and I'm digging again for the next diamond. And it's like I'm almost like coming here like, what's my next mission? What else do I need to do? What am I doing next? And it's almost like you don't have to really do anything. You kind of hear, and there's a reference of like, I'm kind of, here's my garden. I've been planting all these flowers. Like, smell the flowers. You're here. I want to clap. And I feel emotional about it. And it's like, sit and enjoy it for a second. Sit back. Like, you've got yourself to this point. Maybe you always wanted a specific job and you finally got it. Maybe you've been working at a business and it's finally paid off. Maybe, again, you've been doing that inner work, that healing work, and you're here. There's something at one point in your life you wished you were at. Maybe you were going through an ego death and you were in the void phase and you were like, oh my God, and I'm clearing all these things, and oh my God, how am I really want to get out of this cave. Like, I really want to get out. Or maybe it was like, I want a full overhaul of my life. And then you kind of embarked on a crazy journey, but there's this reference of like, oh my God, you did it. You're here. It's outside. It's almost like look outside the window. Like, you got here. And maybe, you know, you have new aspirations right now. Maybe you have a new leap that you're wanting to take. Maybe there are other things and other hills that you want to climb. I'm hearing Miley Cyrus to climb. There's always going to be another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. I'm hearing that, and it's like, there's always going to be another mountain. Every mountain you climb up, there's going to be another mountain, but this is the mountain you wanted to climb for a really long time. This is the mountain you've been at for a really long time when you're here. But it's almost this feeling, I don't realize that I need to rest. I don't realize that I need to kind of like slow down. Do you know what I mean? I don't realize that it's here. I feel like I still need to be doing something. I feel like I still need to find something to change. I feel like I need to keep digging, but it's almost like I've dug them all up now. So what do we do now? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I feel like you're learning what to do now. I feel like you're learning maybe how to enjoy things. There's this reference of like, yes, there are other mountains, but right now there's a reference of just kind of taking time to enjoy. What if you, and this is a thing, I'm not saying don't have goals and have aspirations and have a new place to go. We're always doing that. We're always expanding. But there's this reference of like, there's a perfectionistic feeling that I almost feel like I want to soothe over for a second. And maybe just for now, maybe like over this next month, maybe over the next 2 months while we come to the end of the year, maybe while we, you know, before you set the ball rolling for another leap you want to take. How about looking around and enjoying the right now? Enjoying the home you bought, or the car you got, or the state of mind you're now in that you wished you'd reach, or, you know, this change and going out, and it's like I'm going out and I'm trying the new world. I've made this leap. Let me go and try that. You know, I've been so busy. There's a pastry shop that opened down the road and I never tried it. Let me go try it. There's these things that I wanted to go and do. Let me go and do it. There's this feeling of needing to play and have fun in this garden you've created. Again, I'm not saying put all your goals down, but I just feel like you've been in a state of building, you know, building up whatever it is that you've been building with the 7 of Pentacles. You've been watering that garden. You've been pouring into yourself, and it's like, enjoy it. It's like Christmas Day, you know what I mean? You spend all that time prepping for Christmas Day and the presents and getting the dinner done and, you know, all of that. And then Christmas Day comes and it's like, I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but where we're at, a lot of shops aren't open. So it's like everyone's at home and you just enjoying the day because it's Christmas. There's that sort of vibe that you're being called to be ushered into. You know what I mean? And you want to know what it is as well? I feel like you guys sometimes are a little nostalgic, like, and that's a good thing. It's like coming through as a good trait. Because when I tapped into you guys, I kept being shown like an ocean, and you guys just being sensitive to things and having very deep feelings, which again, good thing. And there's almost this feeling of like, enjoy this moment that you wanted to have, like, because the thing is, I feel like you guys are constantly growing, you guys are constantly shifting, you guys are constantly evolving. So with that being said, everything's constantly changing. So there's a reference of enjoying the moment, enjoying where you are. You know what I mean? Maybe it's it could be like the little things, like the little morning routine that you have set up, or the little nighttime routine that you have set up, or literal garden that you've been planting. There's a reference there of enjoying it and being in the moment and tasting every flavor of the food you just cooked. Like, there's that vibe coming through, because I keep wanting to reference there's something you've wanted to achieve for so long and it's been achieved. There's an energy you've wanted to get in that you're in, and there's a lot of applause here, there's a lot of clapping, there's a lot of like, you did it, what you were manifesting you got. I wonder what that is. It could be that some of you guys are manifesting a person coming in and now you're in a relationship, and there's a reference of enjoying that. There's whatever it is, whatever this is, you'll know what it is. And it could just be the end of like, you know, that part of an ego death where it's like you feel yourself again and you come back to yourself, and you know, it could be that. But whatever I'm being shown, you've been in a transition for a second and your feet are on the ground. I'm seeing somebody's like literal feet on the ground. You got to that side. And I see somebody like dug up this crystal with this Page of Pentacles, this crystal, and it's like, oh my God, I need to keep digging. It's like, no, just chill out first. Just chill out for a sec. You know what I mean? You're at the top of the mountain, enjoy the view. I keep hearing Miley Cyrus The Climb, because I just shared the part where she says, life's a climb, but the view is great. So the Hannah Montana movie may be, you know, something that could have a message for some of you guys. Because even thinking of that movie, like Hannah Montana, she's like, well, Miley being Hannah Montana, she's like a celebrity, and she gets caught up in the celebrity world, and she kind of forgets her roots. And then her father sends her back to Tennessee, and she's like horse riding again and coming back home, coming back to center. And there's a reference of that, like smelling the fruits or looking at the luxury that maybe you've achieved and loving that and enjoying that, and looking around you and being like, oh my God, I'm here, I've arrived. And this is something I always wished I had. And that truly is what this is in terms of your shadow self. I feel like you're constantly like pulling the needles out, like pulling the threads out and rearranging it and sewing it back up in a different shape. You're constantly doing it. And that's good to change and grow and expand. But we also want to honor kind of like where we are. And that's the message from your shadow self, is like almost like rejoicing in something. I just wonder if somebody's achieved something, a diploma, they've maybe got a home or a car, or they've their business is doing well, or booked a trip they've always wanted to go on, you know, whatever that is. There's a reference of enjoying the present coming through. And I know that's probably not what you expected to hear clicking on this. You probably came here like, I feel like you came here like, what's my next mission? Notepad at the ready, like, what do I do next? And it's like, go get a hot drink and enjoy where you are right now. Because there's something that I'm being told that you have as like a luxury that in the past you didn't have. There's something that you have right now that is a lot, like, is very freeing to you, that in the past you did not have. And it's like, you're here, you did it, you know. And it's almost like instead of just like lifting the, you know, pulling the grass up and planting more flowers, I don't want to do anything to the garden for a second. I just want to sit in the garden. I want to enjoy this for a second. I want to just lay in the hammock and have the sun beat on my face. I want to just like sit with my favorite drink and listen to the breeze come through the trees. I want to just admire the garden, maybe take pictures of the garden. You know, I want to just admire it right now. This is like a, you know, because I almost feel with you choosing the poppy as well, because obviously it's Remembrance Day in the UK soon. So obviously I don't know if it's everywhere else, if people wear them everywhere else, but in the UK we wear poppies, and I'm thinking of like remembrance and thinking back to something. So there's a reference there of like this time maybe being a time that you look back at and you're like, oh my God, that was such a lovely time, or that was just a sweet time, or that was such a soft time, that was such an exciting time. You know, I feel like you're going to look back at that this phase like that, which for some of you might be funny because maybe you were kicking and screaming going into this phase, especially if it was like an ego death. You know what I mean? And I've been there myself. You go through like an ego death or a shift, and you're going through a shadow period, and while you're going into the cave, you're kicking and screaming. You're like, not this. And then by the time it's time to come out of the cave, you're like, I don't want to leave. I'm not leaving. You know, from The Wolf of Wall Street, I forgot his name, Jordan Belfort, and he's meant to leave their firm, and he's like, I'm not leaving. I can't swear and say the actual words that he says because YouTube will not like the video, but yeah, I'm hearing that, like, when you leave, you know, it's like, no, but and you could even, you know, that could be you when you're constantly shaking up and shifting. I feel like you guys are very nostalgic, but maybe you also are constantly working on things, that things are constantly changing. And I feel like because I'm being shown that analogy, which has come up in other readings, so maybe it's coming up because I've said it to you in other readings, but island, sea in the middle, that's why I was being shown the water, of course, other than you being probably my water pilot I feel like you've been on this shift, and I'm being shown you like on this island now. But it's like when you set up something new, you set up a new phone, you have a new car, you decorate it, you add the apps, you build it up. And I feel like maybe you're going into a process where you're building things up and decorating the island and whatever it is, but right now it's almost like your feet are here, like let your feet are on the sand, you're here, you're off the boat. Like, I want to clap, I want to say to you like, well done, I want to tell you I'm proud of you. Like, these are the messages coming in from spirit, your higher self. It's like your shadow self. It's like you've done it. I want to say that to you guys, pal, too. I wonder what you've done, but it's like you've done it. You did it. You're here. There's that feeling. And yes, you're going into that energy of building something up again and manifesting again, and you know, but it's coming from you. Then I feel like this transition is kind of been happening to you, almost for you, but to you. You've maybe kind of just been, you know, when you're on a boat, there's things you can do on a boat, but then there's a lot of things you can't do. You know what I mean? But when you're on land, there's a lot more opportunity to do things. So, you know, I feel like maybe things have been a little bit kind of like restricted in what you could kind of maybe bring in or manifest and change. And I feel like you're going into an energy where it's like all the power is like in my hand now. Let's cultivate, let's craft with all the wisdom I've learned, with all the ideas that I've thought of while I've been on this boat. Let's craft and carve this out. But right now it's like you're at the top of the mountain. You got here. Yes, there are other mountains. And now that you're up here, you're going to be able to see those other mountains. So you're going to be able to know where to leap to. And you're going to have ideas. Oh my God, that mountain has this. That mountain has that. This pathway has that. This pathway has that. But sit and enjoy. Let those energies simmer. Let those ideas float around. Be just kind of in that flow state, creative. That I want to celebrate in this energy. I want to get you into the energy of celebrating. Like you've done it. A-star. Like that's how it feels. You've aced something. Oh, these cards are jumping. 2 cards, please, from this deck. Please, spirit guides. Oh. Okay, we have... Oh, wait, these are the cards from last time. I'm not going to use them, only because they literally popped out, but I think they were there because they were at the top from last time. So I'm going to redo the shuffle. Pile 2... When I say last time, I meant pile 1, by the way. Pile 2... Guidance and messages from pile number 2, Shadow Self. Guidance and messages from pile number 2, Shadow Self. Guidance and messages. Am I using this? Coming of winter. It comes in lullabies deep within your mirrored flesh. Alas, it is time to lay your quivering chest upon the winter's coming. There's the feeling to rest up, but not in the way that I would say rest up, slow down, like, you know, you're going into a winter phase. It doesn't feel like that. It's more so like you're on the trip you wanted to go on now. You don't need to continue packing because you're already here. You don't need to be stressing and worrying because you're at the hotel. Enjoy the hotel. Go get a drink. Go in the pool. Like, that's the vibe that it feels in terms of that rest and energy. It's like, do what you came here to do. Like, you wanted to be here. Enjoy that. Enjoy the way you designed your room, you know, enjoy the way that you, you know, kind of furnished your house. Enjoy the flat screen you bought. Enjoy the car you bought. There's that vibe here. Protection. This is my house, stained by the very blood flowing through its walls, covered in a veil of delicious prayers, yet deadly to those who dare lift its hidden. Okay. Why do we have protection then, please, spirit guides? Why do we have protection? Why do we have protection? Why do we have protection? Bear with, because I'm going silent because I'm tapping in. I'm not just like confused. Why do we have protection, please, spirit guides? I feel like you've been, okay, this is, okay. With this reading, I wonder if you've been watching my channel for a really long time, because I talk about my water pile in a lot of readings. So I probably told a lot of you, you know, before in readings, you are my water pile, right? You're my water pile. Another thing is, I keep being referred to old videos of mine in this reading. So I just wonder if you've watched a lot of my videos for me to be referring to things, because it's things that I guess in every day I might not even remember, but in this state I'm like, oh my god, I remember I said that, because I'm being shown an analogy that's come through before, where I was shown somebody being placed in an egg, and I was being shown them transitioning, but while everything was transitioning around them, they were in this egg, and in that egg they were protected. In that egg they were being you know, they didn't have to worry about much. They were just in this egg being protected and being taken where they needed to go. That's the feeling here. And I'm not saying, oh, you're at the egg, you're no longer protected. That's not what I'm saying. But I almost feel like you've hatched out of this egg. So it's almost like I feel like the steering wheel's like in my hand. I feel like with the Magician card here, it's like the wand is in my hand. I feel like it's almost like over to me. I've been kind of like resting up, or I've been taking the class to learn something, and now I'm going out to do it. I feel you in a state of like, it's time to manifest. It's time to bring these things in. That's the energy you're stepping into. That's probably why you're being called to enjoy where you're at right now, because you're going to be cultivating kind of from within. And maybe you're going to be doing things like physically a lot more, especially if you've been on a shift, and especially if it's like an inner work shift, a shadow work shift, and you've probably been in your higher chakras a lot more. You know what I mean? You've been probably just recalibrating your energy, and maybe just more focus on energy than the physical. So there's a reference here of like, what is the message I'm getting with this? It's not that, oh, you're not protected anymore. It's almost like things are in your hands. Like you're going to know what to do. You're going to, it's almost like I've took the training wheels off. I hope this is making sense. You've already learned the guidance and the wisdom. You've already, like, you know not to lower your boundaries for somebody like that to come in. You already know that this person is always trying to steal your light, so keep them at bay. There's this reference of like, you've learned, you know what I mean, you're out in the big wide world now. You're like, it's like I feel like you've reached something, you've mastered something, like self-mastery, because it's almost like you're the bird that fled the nest, and now you're just flying. There's that feeling here. Or maybe you're about to flee the nest, so it's like, enjoy the comfort of the nest right now. There's something there with that, because it's almost like I want to enjoy something before it shifts. I wonder if you're gearing up to move. I wonder if you're gearing up to just shake something up in your life. I wonder what that is, but it's almost like, oh my God, I love this period, and I want to kind of just enjoy this period. I want to savor this period before I start making the changes and the shifts again. Because this almost feels like a mark point. I got here. I did it. I got here, and now you're going to be on another kind of mark point, if that makes sense. You're coming out of the cave sort of feeling. Yeah, so that's I hope that makes sense to you guys. It's almost like it's up to you. Like, I'm kind of giving you the floor now. You've got the steering wheel now. It's like when you go out for a drive in the car for the first time on your own, and you're so freaked out, and it's like, I feel like I'm doing something illegal. Oh my God, is that feeling? You know what I mean? The driving instructor isn't in the seat next to you anymore, and you're just like, oh, me, literally me. But yeah, there's that feeling that I feel like I'm handing you over. You know what I mean? There's that sort of vibe. So yeah, pile number 2. I hope you, after this, go and treat yourself, or just romanticize your day and enjoy whatever it is that's around you. And I'm proud of you, because I feel that pride coming through. I feel like you've reached something. So I love that for you. Here's my clap to you. If anyone hasn't clapped for you yet, I'm doing it right now. Spirit's doing it too. Sending you guys all of my love. I hope you got everything you needed from the reading. The next video will be the trick-or-treat video, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. And yeah, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Hey Pal 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance and messages your shadow self has for you right now. So you guys chose the Red Jasper. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3s. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. Guidance and messages for my pile number 3s, please. King of Swords. Guidance and messages for my pile number 3s, please. Ooh. The Hanged Man. The 8 of Cups. Guidance and messages for my pile number 3s. 6 of Wands. Guidance and messages for my pile number 3s, please. And the Sun. Okay. And the back of the deck is the 3 of Wands. Okay. King of Swords, the Hanged Man, the 8 of Cups, the 6 of Wands, and their sun. Okay, as I was shuffling the cards, I got shown like a faint, like heart chakra energy, so like heart space, shown a lot of green, right? But it was almost like faint in that moment, and then I kept hearing like it's not working, or it's just not working, and it was almost like I'm trying to fit two blocks together that aren't really meant to be together, or just the way in which they're formed right now, they're just like kind of like not gonna work, right? And then there almost felt this frustration, and then when I laid the sun card down, there was this almost like clarity and feeling that kind of came through, where I was like, I almost kind of became aware of like where I'm folding myself in to keep somebody feeling happy, or my feelings and opinions, it's almost like they're getting kind of like attacked or poked at, or my tap me deeper into this. It's almost like I'm aware of where I have to fall back for you to feel comfortable. I feel I'm becoming more aware of like where I have to just kind of like lean backwards, or keep my mouth shut, or you know, kind of fold myself in to keep somebody else warm, maybe sacrifice my own light to keep somebody else warm. And it's almost like maybe in the past I never realized this, because, you know, maybe this is somebody you grew up with, maybe this is a pattern of the same type of person that you've been around, where you've always, you know, kind of given somebody the benefit of the doubt, or you've always maybe tried to help people and try to fix people, and maybe you've tried to keep the peace, right? But there's this feeling here that you've been doing some work on yourself, or some inner work, some shadow work, whatever that is, or maybe you've just been growing and evolving, and there's this activation of like, I'm seeing a bit clearly, and I'm stepping into maybe who I am, and I'm finding my voice, or I'm taking up space, or I'm stepping into like a leader energy, you know what I mean? Or I'm coming into my own. And there's almost this, and this doesn't even have to be one person, this could be maybe be a bunch of people. But there's almost this feeling of like, yeah, that's not gonna fly with me anymore. And do you wanna know what's interesting about this is I don't even feel like there's much pointers to come through in terms of, okay, you need to work through this, you need to clear this. It's not that's coming through. Because I almost feel like there's this self-assuredness that's already been activated in regards to like, that's not going to fly with me. Well, I'm not going to be quiet about that. And it's maybe starting even with little things. No, I don't want to eat that. Like, it's almost like I'm exercising my needs, but also exercising my voice. It's similar to pile one, but you almost feel like you're on the other side of it. So it could be that you watched pile one before and then you've come back and watched this later on, or it could be that pile number one is a past energy for you, because there's just this feeling of like a self-assuredness, a very black and white feeling of like, I don't want to do this, or I'm going to speak my mind, or I'm going to say this, and I'm being made aware of where maybe I fell back for other people, or where I kind of overgave for other people, you know what I mean? Maybe you were the person in the home that always cleared up after somebody, you know, maybe you're living with a partner or living with family and you're always clearing up after everybody, and maybe it wasn't appreciated, and now you're like, hang on a minute, why am I even clearing up after everybody? What if I just clean my own mess and see what happens there, sort of vibe? And kind of like having people kind of step up to that. So there's that sort of vibe here, where it's almost like there's an activation, I'm seeing things a little bit more clearly, I'm recognizing things. And for some of you guys, maybe you're even stepping away from people that don't value your needs and what you want. You know, maybe they were only happy and comfortable with you when you were just kind of going along with what they wanted, and now you're not doing that. Now you're dancing to the beat of your own drama, you're listening to your own rhythm, you know what I mean? And that's not to say sometimes, you know, we might do what somebody else wants, you know, it's kind of a give and take, but I just feel like for a while, pile 3, you feel like you've maybe constantly done what everybody else has wanted, or kept the peace at the expense of yourself. I feel like that maybe has happened so much one way, and now the pendulum is maybe swinging the other way, where you're learning to have a healthy level of selfishness, where you're like, well, I don't want to do this, or I feel very affirmed in this, you know what I mean? I feel very affirmed in this energy, like, no, I don't have to do that, or this is like a really big inconvenience for me, and normally I would just leap at it, but I remember when I needed something and you didn't want to do it because it inconvenienced you. So there's that sort of vibe here, like, am I getting the same give and take? Because it's not to say like we're not going to go out of our way and do stuff for people. It's the point of community. You know what I mean? We go and pick that person up from the airport. We go and get that person, you know, a cup of tea or something when they're feeling low, and nurture them. But sometimes people can like overgive, and I feel like maybe that's what you've done in the past. Maybe you grew up having to self-sacrifice. Maybe you grew up having to overgive and pour into people. Maybe that's something you've done. Maybe you had to overgive in the past. Maybe you had to do that to survive. And I feel like that's something that you're learning to do. You're naturally, Pal 3, I feel, a pretty giving person. And I feel like you're naturally somebody that, because it feels like it's ingrained in you to do that. But I just feel like you're learning to kind of build yourself up and maybe see where aspects of your personality that maybe you're activating, and you maybe just shining your light and doing what you need to do and not playing small for other people's kind of like benefit. Maybe you're learning where things don't fit, because I just kept hearing this doesn't fit. So you may find that you may be maybe pulling back from certain people, or putting in heavier boundaries with somebody, people maybe having a conversation with somebody about what doesn't fly and what does, or maybe you could be distancing yourself from somebody if they were constantly giving and then not responding well to your boundaries. Because for some of you guys, Path 3, I feel like you've already been putting in boundaries. I feel like you've already been kind of like standing your ground, and there's a reference to kind of really look at that and where people aren't maybe not liking, you know, you speaking your voice and saying what you need to say. And you know, we have to be careful that we're saying it in a healthy way. We're not being mean to people. But I just feel, again, I don't feel like I need to overly say that to you guys, because I feel like you know. I feel like for a lot of your life, you kind of overgiven. And maybe you're realising, and this is something that happens when we pour into ourselves if we've been self-sacrificing a lot. We learn growing up, okay, I need to over-nurture and I need to heal. And maybe we look at the other person, or maybe if they're not treating us very well, we can look at it and we can be like, oh, it's okay because they're just going through something and this is happening and that is happening. And sometimes we can overanalyze why they're being the way that they are and try to maybe make excuses, but it's almost like we want to understand. So it's like, oh, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. But some people, and you guys probably know this, can kind of push at that. Well, they let it slide anyway, or they'll just, you know, they'll get it. And what happens is then we're constantly nurturing, constantly healing, and then when we do that work and we step back and you come to these realizations, it's kind of like, I get that you're going through something. I get that this is happening, but you didn't need to call me that, or you didn't need to be that mean to me, or you didn't need to say those things to me. And sometimes that can feel so weird when we start to kind of like look at like, is this something I've been told that I always have to do to be a good person or to overly nurture, or is this something that I've genuinely wanted to do? And sometimes in these processes, you've probably been experiencing it. I've definitely gone through this experience where you kind of feel like, am I a bad person because I'm not given the 15th chance? Am I a bad person because I'm finally cutting away? Am I a bad person because I don't want to do that? And we can go through that process of like, well, who am I then? Who am I? You know what I mean? If I'm not the one giving, if I'm not the one nurturing, if I'm not the one understanding, who am I? But I feel like you're learning your limits. You're maybe redefining your limits, and you're creating those boundaries. Like, I don't mind you having some light, but you know, I don't pull at it. You know, it's my light first, and I need to pour my cup. And if I need to, you know, that energy for me, or if I don't feel like I want to go eat there, if I don't feel like I want you to speak to me that way, then I'm allowed to say no. The word is no, you know? And I feel like that's something you guys are learning, but this energy does feel refined, like you've been doing it. But there maybe might be a connection or two that I feel is coming up in this reading that you're learning you might be walking away from or setting more firm boundaries. The 8 of Cups is in the middle of your reading, and I don't know, I just feel like there's somebody I'm seeing a bit more clearly. I want to pull a couple of cards on that and just take a look at that, of what that is, because as I was shuffling the first time, it was just not fitting. Tap me into this energy. There's something I feel like you're seeing. It's like, oh, this now that I'm tapping more into myself, I don't know if we fit right together. Maybe you only liked me when I was kind of going along with what you needed, you know what I mean? And doing kind of like what you needed. The 4 of Cups is here reversed. Tap me deeper into this specific person. For most of you, I feel like just setting more healthy boundaries is going to be kind of enough for you, but there may just be one or two people. But this is something you already know about. You may already be feeling like, I don't kind of like being around you right now, or I'm struggling to be around this person, or maybe I'm avoiding this person because it's just like, I don't like the way that they're being, or maybe you're butting heads. It could be that you're butting heads. We've got 6 of Cups there as well. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. It's almost like the foundations of what always once was, and it's like I'm challenging the status quo now. 6 of Pentacles at the back of the deck. Like maybe you have, like, let's just say a parent who's just used to you constantly tailoring to their needs or going along with what they wanted, and now you're like, no, I don't want to do that. That doesn't make me happy. The 6 of Pentacles, you know, it's like charity work. We're giving, you know, we're responsible for things. We're pouring in. It's almost this feeling of like, yeah, but I'm over giving. You know what I mean? But there's something here with the 6 of Cups where it's like a system that's set up that was benefiting somebody else and not me. It's almost like capitalism and the 10% or whatever percent it is getting, you know, hordes of wealth, while people that are just working every day, and they're not maybe seeing it in return, you know what I mean? So there's the vibe of like, well, the system isn't working. So I just wonder if maybe there's a friend group or a family situation, and it's like, it's always been this way. We always just go along with this person, or this is just how it is, and you're kind of going, well, no, because it's draining me dry. This isn't working. It could even be a relationship, and you're learning, you know what, I give, and I give, and I give, and I'm just like not seeing a return on investment. And it could even be that maybe this person that we're talking about isn't a bad person, but it could be that maybe your love languages are different, or the way that you relate to connections is different, and maybe this person can't give you what you need if it's a relationship sort of situation, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, I never realized it because I was so focused on bending to you, pouring into you, but now that I'm listening to myself, I'm like, well, I don't think you're pouring into me. Maybe you've had a conversation and it's still not kind of working. So it doesn't even have to be that this person's a bad person. And it doesn't even have to be that this is a person. This could be a lifestyle. This could be a career where you're going, I'm not getting anything back from this. I've worked and worked. I'm not really up leveling in this job. I've hit the ceiling. I don't think there's any further I can go. I'm giving them all my hours and time. I'm not really getting much back. Maybe I should try something different. You know what I mean? I don't think I should go for that anymore. So there's that sort of vibe here. Again, it doesn't have to be a person, just anything that isn't fitting. It's like, well, I think I should have more. I think I deserve a bit more. You know what I mean? And it's not coming from like ooh, I deserve everything and everyone should bow down. That's not what this is. I know sometimes people like to twist it like that. I see sometimes. It's not that. This is somebody going, I poured into you for years, or I poured into this for years, and if anything, do I want to be pouring? I don't even think I want to be pouring into it. It's giving me anxiety. It's making me miserable. I'm not seeing anything back. So why? So I'm kind of bringing that cup back. I'm pouring that back into myself. There's a clarity. There's an activation because of work you've been doing, where it's like, this isn't for me. I've grown out of this. I've grown out of the shell. This isn't something I want to do. I'm being shown Ariel when the father, King Neptune, I think it is. Is it King Neptune or is that SpongeBob? Or was he, I was going to say bilingual. It's not what I meant, bilingual. Is he, I don't know the words, but I don't know, maybe it's King Neptune in Ariel and in SpongeBob, I don't know. But you know how the father, we'll call him that just in case, he has like all the mermaid daughters and they all kind of are for the different worlds, the different parts of the sea. And then Ariel's just like, bro, this is not working for me. I want to get on that land. I want to find Eric, and I want to pair legs. This isn't the situation I want for myself. You know what I mean? And he's like, Ariel, get your tail back. And she's like, I don't know why I'm narrating it in that way to you guys. You've probably all seen The Little Mermaid. I don't know why I was just ready to narrate it. But yeah, I just see you guys like, no, I want to go on the land. I want legs, and you know, Eric's for me. I don't want none of this fish business anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's that vibe coming from you guys. You're just like, and I feel like you're learning like to have more of like black and white opinions. And it's okay to see all ends of the spectrum, but I feel like you've exercised that a lot. Do you get what I mean? Like I feel like you've gone benefit of the doubt. I feel like you've always gone, let's step back and look. And I feel like you do that. You've done it and you still are going to do it, but you're also going to go, yeah, benefit of the doubt, but this is a firm boundary and I don't want that in my life. You're learning to bring in a bit more of the black and white. I have compassion, I have empathy. That's always going to be the case. Maybe I lead with that. But I am not exercising all of my energy there. My energy is needed elsewhere. Maybe your energy needs to go towards your career and your work. Maybe your energy needs to go towards your kids. Maybe your energy needs to go towards just investing in yourself and nurturing yourself. There's something, it's like time is money, or my energy is precious, it's sacred. I can't just, I'm not a free for all. There's that vibe coming through here where it's like, let's reel this in. I can't just be the one given. What about me? So there's like a healthy selfishness that your shadow self is helping you exercise. I feel like you've already been doing it though, because there's something about clarity and going, this isn't for me, or oh my god, I'm butting heads with this person all the time. Maybe I need to have a conversation with them and lay down the law. You know what I mean? There's that sort of feeling here coming through with your shadow energy. It's like your shadow energy stepping up and voicing things and going, I don't like that. It makes me go into my shell. I'm not interested in that. We have reflection. Be wary of things you believe to see with eyes wide shut. They are mirrors of the mad and truths only spoken with a bleeding tongue. And I'm going to get one more card for the next part. The next side even. Pile 3. Oh god. Cards just jumped everywhere. What have we got? Altar. A sacred devotion, a worship skin, deep rising from the ash, the waters you keep. So we have altar. Altar and reflection. I feel like you've always reflected though. You've given the benefit of the doubt, I feel. Maybe I was seeing the heart chakra more faint, not because you're like closing your heart chakra at all. Your heart chakra is kind of like a leading trait for you, probably. It feels that way, especially in the past. And I feel like maybe you've been balancing your heart chakra. Maybe at times in the past, your heart chakra was overactive, you know? So there was a lot of chances maybe given, or you understood when maybe at times now you would be like, actually, I get it, I understand, but I need to pull away. There's this vibe here of like the heart chakra coming back into balance and you choosing not to over nurture. It's almost like, you know what, learn that lesson on your own. I can't stop you from learning that lesson. Love for you, I'll give my guidance, but I'm not going to overdo it. Let me just step back. Maybe you've learned to over mother, over nurture, over heal, and you know, maybe you guys work as well. This happens a lot with people that work in healing professions, whether it's therapy, counseling, spirituality. Their heart space is very open, and a lot of people that can go into these professions, not always, but it can happen a lot of times, it's because they've activated that within themselves, because maybe they came from a childhood where they had to overgive, or they were in relationships where certain things were happening, and it's like they go to those areas, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of part of their journey, maybe part of their purpose, to kind of help others and help other people like activate, you know, and maybe that this is their area of life that you're in, you know what I mean? So you naturally have a very big heart. You're meant to be understanding. You're meant to be empathetic, but maybe some people pull at that. And, you know, maybe you are somebody that maybe you have the ability to, because I'm seeing you like a mirror at times in the past. It's like, you know, like an empath will mirror people. Even with clairsentience, sometimes clairsentience is one of the hardest gifts to really sometimes establish a sense of self, because you pick up so much of other people that it's very easy to kind of go with the flow with somebody else's energy, because sometimes if you're not aware of how that gift works, you don't know what's your energy and somebody else's. So when somebody's feeling a certain way, you're picking it up and going, yeah, okay, let's do this, let's do that. Or maybe with the feeling, it's the deep feeling when other people have been upset because you've had a different idea of how something should go, you've been able to feel their anger and frustration, you don't want to feel it anymore. So it's like, let's just keep the peace. So it's a very hard gift, you know, to balance. And maybe that's what you've been doing. You've been anchoring with the red jasper crystal. Maybe you've been building your ego up, building that, you know, creating an anchor for yourself in this reality of like, this is me and this is what I like and this is what I don't like, and building that foundation so that when you go into workspaces or when you go into the big wide world, it's like, I have empathy and I have that, but I'm also able to have clarity and stay in my own energy of what I will hold and what I won't. And maybe that's something you've been working at, because with altar, it's making me think of somebody that's built foundations, been sat in foundations, pouring into themselves. What are my needs? You know what I mean? What fills me up? What takes away from me? What drains me? What type of connections do I like? These are the things you've been reflecting on and navigating. For some of you guys, I feel like you are empaths and you're becoming like an empowered empath. Some of you guys just like strong clairsentience, if that doesn't resonate with you, and you're learning to anchor it. And then even if we take just from that, I just feel like you guys are learning to keep that flame lit for yourself and knowing when you need to hold stuff back. Knowing when you need to gatekeep yourself at times, you know? I just heard beck and call, so I wonder if at times you've been at people's beck and call and you're learning like, well, do I feel like I have to do that, or is that something I genuinely want to do? Has that person shown up for me? Are they just yanking at me at this point? And knowing the difference between community helping somebody out and somebody making just something difficult for you and just not helping or being inconsiderate. You're learning to navigate that, I think. So it's not so much guidance coming through more than just reading the energy here, because I feel like you're kind of aware of what to do. Like I see boundaries and button heads already, which means you've already been doing what's needed, you know? So keep going. Keep going. Yeah, so pile number 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.